Number 10. The Avengers. I wasn't really excited about this movie when it first came out, surprisingly. I wasn't into like Marvel and all that stuff, but this movie really shocked me with how good it was. They finally got the Hulk right. He was not that good of a character in my opinion, at least in his past couple of movies, and I think they finally got him right in this. The hero aspect with all the characters was in play. The script was good. Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic as Iron Man. And what else can I say? The Avengers, number 10 on my list. Number 9. Bull Durham. This is one of those classics that I could watch over and over again. It was probably Kevin Costner's best baseball movie in that period of time where he made a lot of baseball movies. It's with him and Susan Sarandon, and they fall in love in this baseball story. I'll give you a little background. Kevin Costner plays Crash Davis, and he is a minor league catcher, and he's trying to set the record for all-time leader in home runs in the minor league. But Susan Sarandon and him end up falling in love, and it's this whole journey with him and this other pitcher and Susan Sarandon. It's a really fun movie, and you'll enjoy it. Number 8. Animal House. This is such a classic comedy. I enjoyed every moment of this movie, and anybody who I've asked who's seen this movie has loved it. It's flat out hilarious, it's wrong, but it's funny. John Belushi was hilarious in his main role, and this movie is just about a couple of college kids living the college life in their fraternity, and the dean tries to shut them down. It's just such a classic movie, and you'll love it. Number 7. The Dark Knight Rises. This was the perfect end to the Batman trilogy. Christopher Nolan shows off his skills when he made this movie. Christian Bale showed off his skills when he played the role of Batman very well. And just the action sequences in this movie were awesome. The script was awesome. I don't think they could have done it better. I was pumped going in this movie. I saw the midnight premiere with my friend, but I gotta admit, I was even pumped more going out. It was just such a cool movie overall, and that's why it deserves number 7 on my list. Number 6. Die Hard. No one can compare to how well Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis played their characters in this movie. Alan Rickman plays a leader of terrorists who takes these hostages in this building called the Nakatomi Plaza, and they want to steal $600 million. Bruce Willis plays a badass cop who escapes when the terrorists take the building, and he goes around killing the terrorists, and he's trying to save everybody. This movie is just flat out action. It's a classic action movie. There have been so many tries to be as good as this movie, so many action movies that try to reach this level, but they can never quite compete with Die Hard. This will always be one of my favorite action movies, and that's why it deserves number 6. Number 5. Avatar. God, I love this movie. And when this movie first came out, I gotta admit, I was a little skeptical about it. But my friends just kept pushing me to go see it. And I'm so happy they did, because it became one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. The story and the acting in this movie was phenomenal. And I'll give you a little background about it. It's about this world called Pandora, and these blue creatures live there. And people can go on these machines and control one of these blue creatures as their own. It's called their avatar. And it's with this main character named Jake Sully, and one of the real blue creatures fall in love. And these humans don't take too kindly to that, so it ends up being a big war. This is a romance/action story, and it is long like the Batman movies and Django Unchained, but it's really not unnecessary long. It is a good 2.5 hours that you will enjoy, and that's why it deserves number 5. Number 4. Saving Private Ryan. This is one of the only movies that I can legitimately say bring out my emotions. There are parts in this movie where I'm sad, there are parts in this movie where I'm angry, and so many other things. Tom Hanks in the lead role did such a great job with this movie. Matt Damon played a good soldier even though you didn't really get to see him that much. And the script in this movie was awesome. It's about a group of soldiers that are in World War II. They land on Normandy on D-Day, and they survive, but they have to go find this private in the army named James Francis Ryan and tell him both of his brothers have been killed. Now, it's just this whole kind of action-adventure movie, but it also has some slow, sad parts, some parts that will make you angry, and it was deserving of the Oscar that I think it did win. It was such a great movie overall, and that's why it deserves number 4. Number 3. Looper. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis came together in this film and made it great. But it wasn't just their acting that made it great, it was the story that was written. The story in this film was so professional, and I can't say much more about it than that it was amazing and professional. But I'll give you a little background on this movie. This movie's story consisted of people called loopers. Loopers are assassins in the past that kill people in the future to wipe away their existence. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a looper, and himself from the future gets beamed back to the past, and he can't bring himself to kill his future self. So he lets him run, and this is extremely illegal for loopers, and these people are chasing after him, his fellow loopers are chasing after him, and he's trying to kill his future self, but his future self is trying to kill this kid, and he grows like a tight bond with this kid, and that's pretty much all I can give you. But just the story in this film made it great, the acting made it great, the script was great, everything was great in this film. Number 2. The Godfather. The Godfather is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, American films ever to hit screen. This movie stars Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, and the acting was superb. Nobody could beat Marlon Brando in the role of the Godfather. And the story was perfect. Some people call this the perfect film, and they're not lying when they say this is the perfect film. It showcases the Italian mafia in New York City, and it shows how the Corleone family goes at war with the rest of the major families in New York, and how Michael Corleone starts becoming the head godfather and the Don of the Corleone family. And it shows how at the beginning he was this war hero and he turns into the leader of the mafia. And I can't really say much more about it. Acting superb, script superb, story superb. Just an amazing film overall. One of the greatest American films you'll ever see, and I'd suggest watching it. And here it is, my top movie of all time. Number 1. The Dark Knight. Yes, The Dark Knight is my top movie of all time, and there are so many reasons why. You might have guessed this might have been my number 1 when you saw the 2 other Batman movies in this countdown, but this one just took it all. It was the best in the trilogy in my opinion for many reasons. The action sequences in this were better than any movie I've ever seen, but the one person who made this movie so great was Heath Ledger. He went into the Joker's role saying, I'm going to make this the best Joker anybody's ever seen, and he did. He was disturbing, he did some nasty stuff in this movie, but he pulled off his role so well. I was so sad when I heard he died, because he could have gone into the 3rd one with a big role too, and I think they might have been planning on doing that. But The Dark Knight was a thinking man's movie. It was really good all the way through. It was long, and for some people, they might say it dragged on, but I didn't think it dragged on at all. It was so necessary for this movie to be long. They wrapped it up perfectly, and I don't think they could have made a better movie than this. And I really loved The Godfather, which was my number 2, and for The Godfather to be beaten, something has to be really good, and this movie was really good. So there you have it, guys. There is my top 20 movies of all time. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can subscribe to me if you like the video, and look in the description box below. You can subscribe via text, like me on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter. Alright guys, well this has been Sorting the Truth, and I will see you later.